Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, new Fire TVs coming. We definitely know new Amazon devices are coming this month to be announced. We'll tell you when and what to expect from possible new Fire TVs. Also, advertisers are bailing on cable TV networks to the tune of millions of dollars being lost every year from ad revenues, ditching traditional cable and broadcast television, going to streaming. We'll break that down. And Comcast is suing the state of Washington. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First, though, you can find a link to every story I talk about in the show notes and in the first pinned comment. You can find it there. If you like what we do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button or hitting that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, let's dive into it. Amazon yesterday announced a new hardware event. We've been invited to it in September, where Amazon will be releasing new hardware devices. I suspect a new Fire TV will be one of them. So exactly what will we get there? Well, probably new Echoes and other Amazon-related hardware, but one of the things I think is very likely to be included is some new Fire TVs. Two models to keep an eye on. One is the Fire TV Cube. It's one of the oldest in the lineup right now. I strongly suspect Amazon will be replacing the Fire TV Cube, if not this year, next year. Though there's a lot of question of Amazon wants to lean into that. You know, those big set-top boxes have been phasing out in favor of sticks and smart TVs. Keep an eye on the Fire TV Stick 4K. Not the Max one, though they could do both. The Fire TV Stick 4K has been on extreme price cuts recently, like they're clearing out inventory. Wouldn't surprise if we get one or two new Fire TV devices, but whatever it is, it does feel like the Fire TV Stick 4K is going away. But honestly, for just a few more dollars, you can go get the Fire TV Stick 4K Max. That's my recommendation right now. But I suspect we'll be getting some new Fire TV devices soon. I'll be surprised if they don't announce anything, but those are the two models I believe are most likely to be replaced in 2025 with upgraded processors, more RAM, and some slightly different features. And more importantly, I believe these new Fire TVs will not run Android under the hood, completely eliminating sideloading as Amazon's moving to their own custom-built OS for Fire TVs. I think that'll be the biggest change there. So if you use your Fire TV to sideload piracy apps, for example, I think that will be becoming a thing of the past, at least for Fire TVs on the new models, as Amazon has confirmed they are working on building their own OS to replace the Fire TVs running off of Android. All right, next up, and of course we'll have full coverage on September 30th when the announcement's made. All right, advertisers are leaving cable TV networks in a tough spot. According to a report from eMarketer, they expect a 15% drop in ad revenue spending on cable television networks and broadcast TV networks in 2025, and they expect that to continue. They expect this year roughly almost $50 billion of revenue being spent on ads on cable TV and broadcast TV. By 2028, they expect that to continue to drop and see significant reductions in advertising. Now, this all comes at the same time that we're seeing ad revenue on digital platforms like Roku and other places jump, now totaling over $31 billion, almost $32 billion in revenue. With Roku being one of the biggest winners, that has jumped up 13.2% this year. At the same time, cable advertising has fallen. Now, I've talked about this a lot lately. Not only are cable networks facing people ditching for streaming services, they're cutting back on their subscriber revenue, but advertising is down significantly. According to this, 15%. I think some networks have been hit even harder than that. 15% is kind of the average, 15.5 to be exact. Overall, over the future, we expect to see significant drops in ad revenue with that for the years. By 2028, they see the ad revenue falling from 49, almost 50 billion, down to just 31 billion with that. If I read these numbers right, I apologize if I misread something in my dyslexic brain. Not only are they getting squeezed on subscribers, they're getting squeezed on advertising, which is one of the main reasons why we don't see a lot more networks trying to go free over the air with an antenna, because there's just not the ad revenue there once was. Keep an eye on this, but advertisers may be the final nail in the coffin to put the end on many cable networks with that. To respond to this, I think many cable networks will be forced to shut down in the years to come in order to address the fact that there's not that many ad revenue to support all the networks. All right, next up, hey, if you're a Walmart Plus subscriber, you can now pick between Peacock and Paramount Plus for free. Walmart has officially announced and launched, I should say, Peacock. Now, we broke this news earlier this month. We were one of the first to report that Peacock was going to launch for free on Walmart Plus. Now, with this, you get to pick one or the other. And every 90 days, you can switch, which is a great deal because you could do 90 days of Peacock, binge watch everything on Peacock, and then do 90 days of Paramount Plus and binge watch everything on Paramount Plus. It's a great perk if you're a Walmart Plus subscriber. You can manage that through your settings to switch back and forth. We have full details in our story, but it's not a bad deal. It is the ad-supported plan, but at least on Paramount Plus, you can upgrade to ad-free for a few dollars. Anybody know if you can do that on Peacock? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I want to know if you found a setting to do that. Next up, Comcast is suing the state of Washington over a new tax. They're upset that Washington has pushed in a tax on digital advertising services on there. So all those streaming ads, you see things on Netflix and more, are being taxed in Washington. Comcast is very upset on this and is suing. This could create a precedent that could help protect certain streaming services from having to raise their prices because of the taxes on their ad revenue. Keep an eye on this. It's very inside baseball, as they say, very back behind the businessy side of things. But I think this will have a big impact on the future of streaming and more. With it, we're going to watch this case closely. All you need to know is the Washington state wants Comcast and other digital providers to pay more in taxes, and they don't want to do it. And when companies pay more in taxes, let's be honest, you, the consumer, ends up paying more because that cost just gets passed right down to the consumer. So keep an eye on that. Speaking of streaming services, Spotify has launched a new update to its free plan. You can now have more pick options where you can pick which songs you hear on their free plan. Spotify is a free plan with radio stations and more, but you had a limited ability to actually control what music you were listening to with that. Where you could pick genres and different things. You couldn't necessarily always pick the exact song you wanted to play through their free plan. Now you can with their new pick and play. They also have new search and play options to find tracks and share and play options now to share what kind of music you're playing with other people. If you're a Spotify free customer, not paying for their paid tiers, you have a lot more options there. Today's deal in cord cutting, Tableau DVRs are once again at one of their lowest price ever. Not the lowest price. I think that was $59.90 something. But Tableau DVRs right now are on sale for $69.95. Seems like they've been clearing out stock of Tableau DVRs recently. Is a new model coming soon? What's happening over on Tableau, I don't know. But good DVRs at a good price. Yeah, there's some buggy versions here. But check it out, link in the show notes down below. It's better than no DVR if you're looking for a cheap one with no monthly fees. That's easy to set up. All right, today in TV history, CBS had a really good day in TV history recently as two big major shows both premiered 60 years ago. First of all, Green Acres brought world charm to CBS with its legacy TV show. First launched on September 15th, 1965, 60 years ago. Green Acres first launched, and also Lost in Space debuted on CBS on the same night on September 15th. Lost in Space premiered on CBS. That was a pretty good night for CBS when you look at the big picture. Two shows that still are wildly popular. Now, Lost in Space is a lot easier to find. Green Acres actually was kind of hard. I did find it streaming for free. I think it was either Tubi or Paramount Plus. I was kind of surprised to find out that it's not widely streaming. Is there another paid service we can get it ad-free? I was not on things like Amazon. Leave me a comment. Did I miss some streaming service there? I'll be honest, there's only so many hours in the day and I didn't have a whole lot of time. I was in a rush to an appointment this morning when I was trying to find where that was streaming. So leave me a comment. It is streaming for free though, with ads. Link in the show notes down below. All right, good news if you use TikTok. It's not going away anytime soon. TikTok has apparently been saved from a ban in the United States, as it's been reported the U.S. and China have reached a deal after talks in Europe between the two countries have apparently partially in their trade talks, but a big part on TikTok, come to a deal that will see China divest its ownership to U.S. companies for its U.S. segment of TikTok. Excuse me. It is very late. It's after 10 p.m. when I'm recording this. I've had a very long day with some appointments I had to be at and some things to take care of, so I apologize. My voice is very weak tonight. But China and U.S. have reached a deal. Details have not fully been released, but it is expected that this will result in U.S. not banning Chinese-owned TikTok, which has long been accused of promoting Chinese propaganda here in the United States and not being safe as it's a fully owned company or majority owned or something owned by China. It's been a long day, but that's the short end of it. Next up, Newsmax suing Fox News. You're probably saying, wait, didn't this get resolved? It did. Last week, Newsmax sued Fox News in Florida, and within 48 hours, the case was dismissed in Florida. Now it seems Newsmax wants to try again, this time in Washington, claiming that Fox News is using its dominance in the field to unduly negatively impact Newsmax and other cable networks with their clauses in their contracts with their partners. And Wisconsin now is the ground zero for the lawsuit. Now, it's very similar to the last lawsuit. It'll be interesting to see what happens. How much does the fact that it was dismissed in Florida have any impact in Wisconsin? We'll wait and see. But this could be a very interesting one if it gets to discovery. We may learn a lot about both Newsmax and Fox News' business practices under the hood. And that's really what this lawsuit's going to come down to. All right, and next up, NFL Red Zone is making major changes. Now, in week 2, if you're an NFL Red Zone person, we were one of the first to report this, you may have noticed that it looks a little different. In week 1, NFL Red Zone uses their own ticker bar at the bottom, so they kind of shift the image of this video up, cutting off the very top of the screen on its channels when it's showing a football game. That created some complaints, so to fix it, and images of this are on my story, they slightly shrunk the game feed, so it's slightly smaller, creating black bars on both sides. They replaced with like red color bars, showing the full game coverage, just tiny bit smaller than full screen, so they can have their ticker on the bottom. Now, some people complained. A lot of people seem to like it in our comments. Let me know, did you like the new look of NFL Red Zone in week 2? It did address one of the biggest complaints from week 1 where the top of the games were cut off, and sometimes like the Fox logo was just barely being cut off at the top. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Well, that's it for today. A bit of a shorter video. I apologize. My voice is going for 1. For 2, it's very late and I want to go to bed. But for 3, I really thank you for your support. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care. Be safe. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.